Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with the Internal Revenue Service. Welcome to my YouTube station. This is the home of the 5-minute or less video. I have been doing this for 50 years. I have everything in my head. You want to see me in the national news in a suit and tie, go to my website at 777irs.com. I've been on the national news at least 10 times in the last 3 months. There you can see my dynamic former IRS agent, tax attorney, CPA firm. We do excellent job for IRS representation. Anyway, I do these videos for 3 reasons, so you don't get ripped off. I tell you the truth, and I give you insider information about IRS when in fact I can't. Today, I want to tell you the dangers of self-representation for IRS audits. First of all, I'm just being very honest and very transparent with you. Whether you hire somebody or not, you really need to consider the downside to representing yourself. And before I say this or getting involved in this, there are some people that just should represent themselves. And I say this over and over on all my videos. If you got good, clean records, there's nothing wrong with going in for yourself. No matter how small or big the audit is, knock yourself out. So here's how I determine whether a person should, and they always call me, he says, should I get you to represent me or shouldn't? This is the bottom line. If you think you got good records and you feel good about your ability to explain and you got nice clean records, go in. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't need representation for everything. You just don't. However, and this is a big however, if you know your records are a little nasty and gnarly and you have a pit on your stomach when you open that IRS letter and you're not sure of your records and or your documentation, that's when you need to make that decision to hire. And that's really the bottom line. You're the only one who will know that because you know how good or bad your records are. Here's the damaging part of this, the things that I'm talking to you about self-IRS audit representation. You have no idea what IRS is going to do next, where they're going to go, and more importantly, you want to keep them from expanding the audit. IRS can go back not only to the initial year, they can go back 3 years and 4th year if there's a 25% omission of income. And that's the problem that most people doing self-representation have. They don't know what boundaries IRS has, how much digging they're going to do, how to control the case, and how to negotiate the case. That's the problem. For you and that auditor, it's going to be a black and white. I'm either going to allow it or I'm not going to allow it. For the experienced person who's worked at IRS, using your defense, we're going to say, hey, give us this, we'll take away this. Give us this, we'll take away that. Let's come to some things so we don't drag this audit on. The problem with self-representers, you don't know what the boundaries are, and you don't know what IRS can do and what they're willing to negotiate to stop the audit and close the case and get this thing behind them. Sometimes you got really pissy agents that are out there, and they're going to nickel and dime you for everything. Well, there's ways to stop that. There's a way to put boundaries on the agent. There's ways to control that. There's ways that we have just to say, hey, auditor, just close the case. Let's go to appeals. So I'm not telling everybody that you need to have a person representing you. The bottom line simply is this. If you have good, clean records, go in by yourself. There is nothing wrong with it. And if you are, have a nice, neat file, make copies for the auditor, and go in and give them to you, whether it's a field office agent, a revenue agent, or just a regular auditor that you go into. But if you feel that you've got some exposure and you know it, do not go in because they will know that. They will smell blood in the water and they will take advantage of you. I know it. I've worked at IRS and so is my team. But remember, you make the decision. You make the decision on your gut. Anyway, I gave you the best I could. Give me a subscription if you want. Those are important to me because YouTube values subscriptions. So for me to upload these, I love to have subscriptions. It just keeps me being pushed up the list. Give me a like or a comment. I appreciate you listening very much. Remember, if you got the pit in your stomach, you get someone. If you don't, go in by yourself. Thanks for the subscription.